What's up, everybody? Welcome to Storm Sessions. My name is Danny Enriquez, and we are here with Miami's newest defensive back from the West Coast, Keionte Scott. Keionte, how we doing?
We're doing good. Checking in.
Yeah, man. So obviously you're in the middle of camp, a lot of work. You had that transition. You had a chance to kind of sit back and reflect and say, man, it's been a little bit of a journey the last few months.
Yeah, no, definitely just, every day I feel like if I'm still not to the point where I'm walking in the facility, like looking around like, man, it's still surreal to me just being here, just being able to, take advantage of this opportunity. It's just something I look super forward to. So I'm just excited and definitely get a chance to calm down now as campus got into it. But, man, it's definitely a blessing.
So a lot of steps along the way, right? So we'll get to all those, but just taking it all the way back to the beginning, right? San Diego, California born?
Yes, sir.
So tell me about growing up. I know it's a place a lot of people want to live. Probably a little jealous that you got to spend your life there. But talk about just growing up in San Diego with your family.
Yeah, definitely just feel like, it's just a great place to grow up. Definitely went back and forth from San Diego to Vegas, a little bit of both. So being able to be both and travel from both, family in both places, is definitely just, something that's surreal. You get a lot of guys, slept on as far as football goes, but just a lot of talent in San Diego. And it's definitely starting to get seen more as you see guys starting to get recruited more. So that's definitely something that's coming up now. But it's definitely just a great place all around.
How would you compare those two places, San Diego and Vegas, growing up there?
I would just say it's like two totally split down the middle places. You get a little bit more like Vegas is more like an adult. So like when you're a kid, you really can't, So it's just like, but it's definitely fun. Made a lot of great relationships in Vegas, and then San Diego is more like a calm, like family oriented place. I feel like when I go back home, it's a lot of family there. So it's always just good to be around them.
And were you a sport oriented kid from the beginning, or
yeah, definitely. So like the start of everything really and it's just a crazy story. Like we were just in Albertsons one day when I was 5 and I'm running around the store, single mom. So my mom's in the store trying to keep us all together and keep us all throwing. I was throwing around I think I turned something into a football and my football coach, Coach Hayes, was in the Albertsons at the time, and he seen me throwing around stuff and he was like, asked my mom if I was in football. And my mom said no, trying to find him, a team to play on, and the story goes on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Was at practice. I think the next couple of days we went to got a helmet and then been playing ever since. Never missed a season. So just fall, spring, we was playing I was just trying to play. So
what was it about football that hooked you?
I just think it's just like the chance to just let my emotions and just have fun and just be free and just play. I feel like sometimes I'm like one of those guys that holds a lot of stuff in. So being on the football field, I could just release everything. And it's always been like that for me. So that's just an emotional release for me.
Were you always a defensive player? Or were you playing running back and all that?
Oh yeah, I've played everything, both ways my whole life, really, all the way through high school, and then got to college, and it was kind of like, all right, it's time to choose one. Just ended up picking DB.
And the physical aspect of it, you talk about releasing your emotions. Was that always there from when you were a little kid?
Yeah. So yeah, I used to be one of the snotty nosed kids in Little League. So you mess up or something, and the tears start running in. But I've learned to use the anger that I felt to play football. So that's just kind of how I've been doing it.
Did you do any other sports at that time, or was it just kind of football?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Really, I fell in love with track, like long jump and triple jump when I was little. So I've enjoyed those things for a long time, just being able to, always being able to jump and stuff like that. I feel like it kind of helped me too. Kind of did a little damage to the knees, but it happens.
Got you explosive, man.
Yeah, for real.
And then in terms of just off the football field, you were a kid. So what were you getting into when you weren't playing sports?
Really just other sports, you go to the game, have a football game after, have another football game on the side, playing with, with other kids around, just football, anything sports related, just outside, having fun, riding bikes, friends, chilling on the power box, stuff like that, just outside for real.
When did the vision first come to be like, hey, I could, all this you're seeing now, being able to play at this kind of level, when did you say, hey, I can play football, not just with my friends, but in a serious way?
I'd really say really my senior year, kind of just going through everything, everything I went through is just moving around different high schools and stuff like that growing up. It never was I could go to college, and then my senior year, moving back to San Diego and playing both ways and just being explosive and making plays and, just stuff like that. And then it kind of clicked, I started getting pulled out of class, college coaches coming to talk to me and stuff like that. And that was when it kind of clicked, oh man, I could do something with this.
So walk me through that journey then about the different schools and high school or before where you had to move around a little bit.
Yeah, just, just always moving around. Like, my mom just, trying her hardest to just put us in the best situation. And, sometimes that came with, having to move schools and stuff like that. So I just feel like, but I always just got a chance to, just go in and some way, somehow make it right in time for football season. So that was always, great, but met some great people along the way, but just, I felt like, as that journey went on, it caused me to just like, have to be good at being in different situations. Like, sometimes I would get there in the summer, the fall, sometimes different times, but it was always just super fun. And I still was allowed to, play football and do what I love. So it was always a good time.
I mean, just talking to you, just from the moment you walked in before we started recording, you're like an extroverted kid. You're not like someone that has to come out of your shell. How was it making new friends and kind of starting over at all these different places?
Yeah, I think it is a good thing. I just feel like I have good energy around. So it's like, it kind of attracts people in a way. So just making sure I'm, good energy, never, trying to knock nobody's energy in a way, and just being an open book and just being friendly, trying to make people smile and stuff like that. Just being happy, because I am happy, you know what I'm saying? So it's just trying to be open and just, make friends, talk to people. Sometimes you never know what someone's going through. So just saying what's up to them could, change how they're feeling in that moment. So just always just trying to just be open and just, giving people a chance to, come in and enjoy, what I'm bringing and stuff like that.
Do you think the moving around and all that kind of puts you under the radar a little bit when you were coming out of high school?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, it had a toll on it, but I feel like at the end of the day, the journey that I had, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I feel like it, it definitely shaped me into the player I am today, with just being in different places and learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I was young, it was always like, I was trying to just chase that opportunity instead of just, accepting, the opportunity I was in, taking advantage of it. So, some trial and error in between the journey, but I feel like it all, came together, and everything that has happened for a reason, for sure.
So first step as far as the college football journey was junior college, right?
Yes.
So talk to me about that transition.
Yeah, definitely was like, at first it was like, just seeing all your friends, go to these big D1 schools and stuff like that. It was kind of like, really heartbreaking, but, then I had to channel and focus and really realize, like I put myself in that situation. I ended up having to go JUCO, without getting it done in the classroom. So just turning my focus on what I can do and taking advantage of the opportunity, going down to Utah and being in Ephraim. I mean, there's literally one street light. I mean, we had a McDonald's, a Little Caesars, and a Walmart, and a little taco shop, but just fell in love with it though, for real. So it was just something that, it's just a humbling experience. And I was able to, lock in the classroom and meet some great guys, all my JUCO friends. Like, we still in a group chat today. We talk every day. Like, it's just something that, you build that bond and those relationships they'll last forever. So I'm definitely grateful for that opportunity. And then, being at a school like Snow, that just amplified everything, playing a national schedule, playing guys, all around the country, ended up making it to the national championship, my first year there, being with guys from all over the country, guys with different stories, hearing their stories, some reasons they had to be there. It was just all just a great learning experience. And once again, the journey and everything that happened for a reason. And I was able to learn so much from that. It just gave me a different appreciation for the game. So it's just something that I'm very grateful for. I'll never forget. I'm definitely grateful for Snow College. I wouldn't change it for anything.
So people watching the show, including some high school athletes and stuff, we know all about D1 because we see it on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as JUCO, what is it like to play JUCO? What's JUCO football like for those who are not familiar with JUCO?
Yeah, I definitely would say, man, it's just an everyday grind. It's just something that, you go from, being in high school and then you go straight into, going to JUCO. Or when going to JUCO, your mindset is just going to totally change. Like, nothing is given to you. Everything you got to go earn. Like, every single thing you got to go earn. Nothing's given to you. I mean, we didn't get cleats. Like, it was just little things like that. Like, you got to go get your own gloves, stuff like that. Like, Snow did a good job of, it was a great program, and they did, sometimes we would get cleats but we'd be so appreciative towards it. Like, it was like Christmas, brand new cleats, like, it was just something. So you just get a different love and different feel for it, because everything is earned. I mean, there's days you go in, and everybody's in that same situation. So I feel like that's another blessing too. Like, everybody's down there with you. Everybody on that team is trying to, find their way to try to make that next play, make that next, lift, and trying to do everything they can to do extra. And I feel like I found a good group of, guys, and we just grinded. I mean, every day, like, we just trying to find something extra to do. trying to find another meal, trying to find another shake. We were competing at the end of the day, because everybody's trying to get out of there, but we were all just using that and channeling, all our feelings and putting them all together to just try to get out of there. And a lot of us did. And that's why it's just a blessing at the end of the day.
So you were, I believe, the #1 JUCO recruit in the country. So it's like you had all that kind of recruiting experience, but in a different timeline than maybe the 5-star out of high school.
Yeah.
So what's that like when you've been grinding, you do it at the hard way, and now you're the star of the show, everybody's recruiting you?
Yeah, see, now that's a definite thing too. Like, being at JUCO and once that recruiting starts, it kind of puts a target on your back. Because now when you go, you go down to Texas and you play in the Texas team, everybody knows, or he has offers. So everybody's trying to get tape. So like you getting old linemen, their job's not even to come out to block you. They're they're going to get you on tape. Like literally you'll go on Twitter and see this tape against recruit 30 offers and it's just you on it. It's just things like that. So it's just definitely put a target on your back. Sometimes it's your teammates, and that's just how it is. Like, guys wanted to go against me every practice. Like, hey, line up, let's do it. Like you're making it out. You're doing something right. I want to go against you, stuff like that. So it just brought an extra dog out of me also, because in my mind, I know like every game I go in, I know all this team knows, their receiver coach is talking about it all week. Hey, he has offers, you want offers. This the game you got to show up. So it's just put a different mindset in my head. Like I know, all right, there's going to be, and also, you got college coaches that are in that area going to come to the game. So it's like, it's just all around, like just turns your mindset. It just has to be on like straight dog mode, because like you're getting everybody's best game. The quarterbacks also, quarterbacks want to try to put the ball over your head, put the ball in the end zone, complete passes against you. It just ultimately just puts a super big target on your back. But it's definitely something you just got to learn to grow with and accept at the end of the day. So it's just something that I learned to accept and just, grind through. And it was definitely something that did turn me up a little bit too also, because it's just like, it's time to go every time, every week, every practice, everything. So it was definitely a blessing. But also just being able to help some of my teammates with the offers too. Like I feel like that was something I always try to do. Like coaches who come, try to talk to me. I always try to, help. And, sometimes, I'm I'll say it now on the podcast, but like sometimes, my teammate was like, hey, what's that coach's number? I'd hit him up, send him your tape, stuff like that. So just different things like that.
And in the recruiting process, right, where you're like visiting schools and stuff, you were someone who had already been around. At that point, you'd already been at multiple schools, whether it was high school, everything else. So what were you looking for in that part of the process?
Really just a great opportunity at the end of the day to put myself in a situation to get to be developed and be put in that light to excel and be put in that next level and get that opportunity. So that was my biggest thing, of just no matter where it was, just having a shot to come in, because I was already, years behind on the peel of my class, guys that went D1 and got out of there. I knew I had to go somewhere to try to make an immediate impact, immediate splash. So just looking for a great opportunity.
You go to the SEC, Auburn. Great school, big time program, big time conference. Obviously, you're coming from the West Coast.
Yeah.
What was that like, just culture wise, and then stepping into the one of the biggest conferences there is? Yeah.
Once again, I feel like, just got to give a great blessing to Snow College, because being able to survive and live out there for years and just nothing, like boredom. I feel like I can live anywhere in the country, because it was just days like, you're out there like walking around and it's nothing out there. So it's just, I feel like I fell in love with that. But during that process, falling in love with just having nothing to do and just grinding, so that put me in my mindset. So now when I end up going to Auburn, super far from home, I've already been in Utah, small little Ephraim. So it just put me in the mindset of just, go play ball. So I just went and played ball and fell in love with the South. I definitely appreciate the South, appreciate Auburn for everything. So I'm definitely grateful for it. But I just feel like, it just took that mindset of having to be close from home, close to home, just kind of just that's out the window now. It's just all about the opportunity at hand. And I definitely was able to take advantage of that. So it's definitely something that I'm grateful for. Just being in that small town, it's kind of just put me in a chance to, when I say that, I mean that I could live anywhere in the world for real.
Then you had a lot of success. You had NFL people tweeting about you, making a lot of plays. You're the top punt returner in the SEC on top of what you were doing at the nickel position in 2023. So you did have an opportunity to go pro at that time, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you have a chance to go pro, have pro interest, decide to come back to Auburn. Before we get into the next part? What led to that decision not to go pro in 2023?
I just felt like, in my mind, when I sat down and really thought about it, and accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish through college football, and just ultimately asking myself if I was 100% ready to, enter that, because it's a lot that comes with that. And I just felt like mentally, physically, and spiritually, it just wasn't the time to enter that part of life. So I just felt like the best thing to do was to come back. And I'm super grateful that I did, honestly, to be honest. I learned a lot throughout the time of coming back, and all that I learned was just definitely, it's just a year of blessing, looking back on it, during in it wasn't the best, it just felt like it was just, a lot going on. But at the end of the day, got a chance to, learn, because I haven't been in that situation my whole life, for real. So just getting a chance to go through that, I'm definitely grateful for it.
So 24, you're kind of hitting that. Your coach, one of your coaches, Coach Ethridge, who we'll talk about here in a second, leaves Auburn, right? Mm-hmm. You're playing more outside than mm-hmm. nickel, right? Obviously, so much success in 23, 24, more up and down, mm-hmm. more adversity, right? What was it like, and how did you keep your confidence and just talk, make sure you're on point internally when, everybody knows your name now, and they might be disappointed when a play doesn't go a certain way, and you got to deal with all those expectations and all the new stuff that you're doing?
Yeah, well, throughout the years, I built, and tried to do my best to be a leader on the team, and I feel like in 24 I was that. So, it just turned my focus to, okay, these guys, it's their turn now, and, they're getting the opportunity. So just turn my real focus to being a leader. At the end of the day, things are not going my way, but people still look up to me, and they're out there, and they haven't been out there. So it's just different things like that, just trying to find myself leading and talking those guys through, different situations and stuff like that. And it definitely wasn't, never thought in my mind, but that's just, how I was raised, and a different type of a guy I am. It was never like a hate thing or anything like that. I was definitely happy for them boys, man. They're my guys. I recruited some of those guys to come here. So it was like, I can't be in a situation where I'm like, I'm being angry. I was still going through times and learning, just trying to talk to those guys and still be a leader I am, to just help wherever I can. That was my main focus, and definitely got through that.
This fall, the Canes are taking over paradise again. Canes Weekend of the Bahamas returns October 31st to November 2nd, right here in the heart of Nassau. Choose your vibe. The bold, laid-back energy of the Point Margaritaville Beach Resort, or the timeless charm of British colonial Nassau. 2 beachfront escapes, 1 legendary weekend. Enjoy special rates starting at just $159 per night. Plus, big-time fan energy, exclusive events, Hurricanes legends, and an unforgettable island-style watch party. Lock it in now at bahamas.com/Canes Weekend. Terms and conditions apply. And you're obviously a football player. I know you have confidence you could at any one of those defensive back spots. But for those who don't know and they just think, hey, corner's corner.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between what you're doing at nickel than what you might be doing outside, right? It's it's almost like switching positions.
Yeah, no, it's two definitely positions. And just being around and playing nickel for so long, and then, that transition, just the thought of it, the idea was a great idea. But then at the end of the day, just the molding of the development of everything and the way it was brought up, it kind of just switches the whole path of everything, and my playing style just really didn't fit corner anymore. I feel like I'm more like a guy that needs to be a little closer to the ball. A little closer to the ball, a little involved in everything. I feel like at corner, being on that island, it's not saying that I can't do it. I'm still 100% confident to be able to go out there and lock things down. It's just that I feel like, sometimes it's just like, my mind was just like, okay, I got to be here, but I really want to be there. But I got to be here, so it's just different things like that. It's definitely 2 total different positions, though.
We mentioned Coach Ethridge going to Houston at the time. So after in the initial portal window, so Auburn season ends, you went to the portal and you head over to Houston with Coach Ethridge. So what went into that initial decision to go out west? Yeah,
and we built a great relationship, like real life, like love that dude, man. Like I care for him, like that's my family. He came to Utah and brought me out of a tough situation. So I'm definitely forever grateful for, him, and we've built a relationship through over. So in my head, I know, okay, you're in a situation where, okay, you got to go clean the tape up again. So, in my head, once again, being from JUCO and having the mindset I have, the landing spot, It really doesn't matter to me. I just need a guy, a coach, someone that believes in me, someone that knows me, someone that knows, the structure of everything that's going on and stuff like that. And that was my biggest thing of, but also making sure the opportunity was right. So when I sat down with him, we talked, he was just telling me, opened everything up. He didn't hide anything, told me the situation of everything that was going on in the program, what they're running, stuff like that. My biggest thing is, everything was checking the box. The biggest thing was, okay, not having to build a relationship with a newer coach. Because I feel like in my situation, that's kind of not the type of ordeal and things I need right now. Normally just come in with a guy that knows me already, knows what needs to be done, knows what needs to be corrected, and just go, and just get the year out the way. So that's my biggest thing with that, Coach E. Just no relationship we have. It's just 100% genuine, 100% real. He keeps it real with me, holds me to that standard. He knows what I can do. So it's just something I'm very grateful to build that relationship with him.
And those who don't know Coach Ethridge, what kind of person is he? What is he like as a person?
Yeah, just a genuine guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, things he's saying to you, he really means. And just someone that's open. You can come in, close the door, and he just keep it real with you. There's been multiple times I've been in that room and just opened up to him, and he got great advice, and he just kept it real. At the end of the day, if I was wrong, I was wrong. If I was right, he's helping me through it. So just something I would say, just tip my hat to him. It's just a very open guy, great recruiter, great guy. But also, like, the stuff he's saying during recruiting is how he's living and how he's upholding stuff. So it's definitely real and genuine. So that's something you can tell as you go along. You've been in this for a long time. You understand, what's real and what's fake. And it's just something that he just keeps it real, and it's just a real guy.
So you get there, then he has this great opportunity for himself and his family to come to University of Miami.
Mm-hmm.
From your perspective, how does that whole thing play out? Obviously, we know how it ended.
Yeah.
But just, take us through him going to Miami and taking that opportunity. You're at Houston. What's going through your mind, and how do you approach the next steps?
Yeah, so definitely, my process was okay. I came here, but that's why I'm so grateful that it wasn't just because I didn't go to Houston just because Coach E was there. I sat down and looked everything out and looked at all the opportunity of how everything was going. It's a great opportunity. That was just a cherry on top. So, going through it, him exiting was like, okay, cool. But I wanted to be where my head was at, because I know, the year previously wasn't good. So I got to stay focused and stay where I am, be where my feet are, something that, was installed by him, Coach E, being where my feet are. So I wanted to be where my feet are all spring. So I just stay focused. I was just grinding out the spring, make sure that I was on my stuff, getting my confidence back, all those things. And then, that's how it went.
And when did the thought process come out? Like, maybe, and I don't know if when you entered the portal, you were already thinking about Miami, or whether this is something that, you enter the portal and then you had a lot of different things going on, but just the next step from your perspective, what was that like?
Yeah, definitely. So I just feel like a lot of changing pieces going on with why I made my decision. A lot of things moving around. So now I know, okay, I only have this year left, and really wasn't supposed to have this year, getting blessed by the junior college rule, getting that extra year back. So now I got to take full advantage of it. So a lot of changing pieces going on with my decision. So I decided, and with prayer and talking to my family, the best thing to do is open it back up. Okay, let's see if there's another better opportunity out there. And that was my biggest thing. And as soon as I got in there, my name popped up. Of course, Coach Ethridge calls me. Okay, so now I'm looking like, okay, and also getting contacted by other schools, but now I'm in the same situation again. Like, okay, let's look at it. So, I got a chance to, come up here and visit and ask the same questions, very open book guy, don't want nobody to lie to me, tell me what it is, tell me what it isn't, open the book up. And, he told me, all right, this is the situation, but also he stepped away from it. And I got to talk to Coach Cristobal. You got to talk to Coach Harris, got to talk to different guys, and just seeing how everything was, seeing where the need was, seeing where the defense is running, where I fit, how this plays out. And just, after my trip, I just felt like, man, there's no reason to go nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Miami, that's something that, as an older guy, being able to get that opportunity to play in Miami is a blessing also, just so where it can show. Because now I can show, okay, I can be in a place like Miami, be all around the country, live anywhere and still produce, and be in a place like Miami where you can go do 1,000 things other than play football and still be focused and locked in and be where my feet are and just be able to perform, and then be around a coaching staff like this coaching staff we have right here. Like, I feel like it's just different guys, but also, looking at it, Coach Cristobal recruited me when I was at JUCO. Coach Harris recruited me while I was at JUCO. Coach Ethridge recruited me while I was at JUCO. That's just all the boxes checked right there. So I have genuine connection with Coach Cristobal already, genuine connection with Coach Harris already, genuine connection with Coach Ethridge. So I just felt like down the line, and then, you know, getting a chance to be in Coach Heatherman's defense was a plus. What he's doing with the nickel is definitely, you know, something I like and I feel like can, you know, help elevate, you know, what's going on. So I definitely just feel like all the boxes were checked, and it was just a great opportunity for myself. So I feel like it was the right thing to do. Didn't take any other visits. Let's do it.
And you're here now. Obviously, that has been a totally long amount of time. But as far as like your impressions of the school, the campus, the coaches, like separate from the recruiting process, now that you're here, what's it been like?
I definitely feel like you just see, like, you know, why, you know, Miami is Miami. It's just everything you get what come with it. The culture is already built in. So now it's just getting people to, you know, buy in and stuff like that. And you just see that, just real structured, real, you know, and that's something that I love. That's how I live and how I play football. So it's something that powers me up. Like, I'm like, okay, nobody's playing. I'm not playing either. I want to win too. Everybody wants to win. We want to win. Let's win. So it's just something I love, man. I love being around it. It's just something that, you know, it keeps you on your toes at all times. You never know, like, but when it's time to go, it's time to go. So it's just something that I just like truly enjoy, and just so grateful for the opportunity to be a part of something like this. So definitely not looking forward. I'm looking forward to taking advantage of it 100%.
And you're like two players, because we mentioned earlier, you're a defensive back, you're a defensive player, but then you're also a punt returner. So just on the punt return part, what's that mentality like when you got people flying at you, everybody's looking to make sure, first of all, you catch the ball, then what you do with it, and everybody else is trying to kill you? What's that like?
Yeah, to be honest, it's just my time to relive my receiver days, for real, get the ball back in my hands. And it's something I definitely enjoy and love, bro, like having the ball in my hands, being able to make people miss and just create excitement with the ball in my hands is definitely something that, you know, I love. So, like, you know, at first it was like, man, because I really wanted to do kick return when I first, you know, got there. You know, you want to do kick return a little safer, a little better feeling. So, you know, at first it was like, it was just a nervousness, but I had to learn, like, you know, punt return is all straight confidence, you know, so you got to go back there. It's only you. Everybody's looking at you. You got to catch the ball. You got to run the ball. You can't really worry about it. Any little doubt, any little anything, you'll mess up. So just learn to just get that confidence, and as that confidence grew, now it's turned into aggression. So now it's like, you know, guys are coming down there, and, you know, like, normally some guys will fair catch it, and it's like, oh, you should probably make a fair catch. But it's like, all right, I'm trying to just do anything I can. And through that aggression, I'm learning to, you know, when to be smart, when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive. I've learned that through at the time. But it's just something like, you know, every time that, you know, I get that opportunity and I'm trying to make a play. So it's just throughout the time, like I said, you know, just learning to when to be aggressive, when not to be aggressive is my biggest thing this year. But also definitely, you know, just going to try to take advantage every time. I'm trying to, you know, 10 yards is the goal. You know, you want to get the first down for the offense, but man, I'm trying to excel that, you know, do something different, do something, in our special teams unit, the coaches is always playing Devin Hester, and I was just looking at it like, man, that's a guy, man, you know, but that aggression again, you know, when you play aggressive like that, you know, defenders, you know, it's hard to handle. You catch that ball and you going, you know, so that's something I'm trying to, you know, definitely model my game after, just being aggressive, but being able to make that big play.
Yeah, you know, Hester, it's like he wasn't even the biggest track star. It was just that he was already halfway to the end zone.
He's gone. He's not thinking, just playing ball.
So when you've been through so much as far as like different schools, different stops along the way, different bits of adversity. There's a physical part too. No one's ever 100%. There's always, I'm sure, mornings where you wake up, you got to go work out, and you're like, I just don't feel like doing it. What is it that pushes you to do that when you don't really want to? Yeah,
I just feel like, you know, my mindset this year is it has to happen. Like, it literally has. It's no like, I don't have time to I don't feel, go. You know, so that's just my mindset right now, and just the place I am mentally right now. Like, it's just, it has to happen. So anybody in front of me, or anybody I'm guarding, anybody that, you know, I have to go set the edge or anything, it has to happen. And, you know, it's a lot weighing on this in my mind, and it's not pressure to me. It's something I've been blessed to be in a situation to be put in. So it's not pressure. It's just, it has to happen. So my mindset and every way I'm living away every day, where my head is at every day, is just like, it has to happen. That's the quote this year. So
when you're not playing football, working out, practicing, whatever it is, what are you up to? Like, what are you doing on your downtime? I know you're sleeping probably a lot because I know how camp is. But just when you're trying to relax a little bit and do something, what are you into?
Bro, really just chilling. You know, sometimes like the video game, but right now it's just straight ball right now. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, straight ball right now. Sleeping in the facility. I'm straight strapping in, just trying to go make this happen for sure.
Let's flash forward 20 years. Long NFL career is over. Where's Keionte Scott?
Keionte Scott is somewhere, you know, just trying to make people better in any way he can. Definitely looking forward to just giving back, you know, all the knowledge I've acquired over the years. Definitely something I'm looking forward to, just giving back to different communities, low income, high income, you know, it doesn't really matter. Just giving back in any way I can, whether that be like coaching. I'm definitely, you know, probably interested in probably getting into that, but also definitely interested into attacking the younger generation. I feel like that's something that, you know, instilled by my mom with her nonprofit and always having like, you know, different summer camps and stuff like that. I just fell in love with just being able to make somebody smile. So just giving back in any way I can, you know, not just in sports, but just in life. You know, everybody, you know, some people don't have the opportunity to have that chance to, you know, excel and be put in that position. So just giving, you know, people a chance to, you know, even that playing field is definitely something I'm looking forward to. Entrepreneurship also, you know, having things and setting, you know, my family up to, you know, be successful is something I look forward to also in 20 years for sure.
And your mom's nonprofit, for those who don't know, what is the nonprofit? What does she do to get this thing going?
Yeah, STAR CDC. So striving to achieve real success is definitely the nonprofit. It's something we, you know, grew up with. You know, some days we'll wake up and there would be 20 kids in the crib. So it's just like, you know, but they turned into family though, you know, just kids, you know. So just giving back is something that my family has always been doing. So it's just something that I naturally just fell in love with. So definitely, you know, grateful for my mom putting us in that situation, because it was days like, you know, we thought we were going through something, and then, you know, my mom would bring someone around that's going through, you know, something way worse than us. So it definitely was just a humbling experience. You know, my mom always did a good job of making sure that we knew, like, you know, we might be going through something, but there's someone that's going through something that's way worse than what we're going through. So it just allowed us to, you know, be grateful and be happy about everything.
We got some questions here from the fans.
Let's do it.
So if you could use a word to describe this year's team. You've been around it now a little bit. You've seen them in camp. You see how people, different personalities are and how the team looks all together. What's a word you would use or a phrase you would use to describe this year's team?
Dogs.
There you go. There you go.
No cap.
Best advice for someone that's playing in high school football right now?
Best advice for someone playing high school football, I would say definitely, you know, through my learning experience, bro, handle the books. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the books is the biggest thing. You know, when them coaches come in there and they come visit, they're looking at the tape, okay? If your tape checks the box, which it should, you know, if you're doing the right things, the first thing they're going to go in their school and ask for is your transcript. So it's not nothing you can do, no matter no matter how good you're doing. And you can have 50 interceptions. If they go in there and ask for your transcript and your transcript don't pass the test, it's nothing they can do for you. So definitely I would say, man, put your full intention to the books. And, you know, it might be hard, but if you say you want to go to college and you say you really do, you put that same energy you put in the field into the books. So definitely handle the books, handle the schoolwork, man, go to class, man, sit down, get the help you need, whatever you need, get the help you need, handle the books. So when your transcript passed that test and your film passed that test, it's nothing they can do.
Great advice. What made you initially switch from offense to defense?
To be honest, bro, at JUCO, I was supposed to play both ways, but my coach ended up getting fired. And not getting fired, but he ended up leaving. So it's just like one of those things where it's like, okay. And then it was just like, you know, the defensive coordinator kind of just like, I can't come over here. So it was just like something that just happened naturally. But I'm definitely grateful to play defense, but I definitely miss offense.
Well, that's why you got punt return.
Yeah, no, for real. Make it happen.
How was your first day at camp at Miami? So you get out there, it's not like your first day of camp playing football. You've been doing this for a minute, but just at Miami, wearing the orange and green with the sun out. What was that like? Man,
it was definitely just a surreal moment, bro. I was juiced up. I was gassed up. I was excited, bro. And it was just like, man, let's just go have fun. Let's play ball. So it was just my opportunity to just, like, everything, just walking everything down, you know, everything, all my goals and stuff. It was just our first day. You know, I get a chance to, you know, start achieving those things. So it was definitely something that, you know, it's just a learning process, but definitely just super juiced up, super excited. I was happy.
What does it mean for you to be, there's a question from one of the fans. What does it mean for you to be back now? We talked about the journey to get here, but now that you are back with Coach Ethridge, now that you are back nickel, punt returner. I know you can do other things, but now that you're kind of back in a little bit of a comfort zone, and that's dangerous works. I know from talking to you, you're never comfortable, right?
Yeah.
You're always trying to kind of push, but just being with something you're more familiar with, what's that feeling like now that it's here?
Oh, it's definitely great, man. I feel like, everything I acquired and all the things, all the adversity I used, I feel like it's just built up in a way. And I really didn't know how to do or store or what to do now, but now I kind of know where to do. I've been, so now it's just like, let's go, so, like my mom says, get up, dust yourself off and keep going. So it's like, I'm just so grateful, bro. Like, just can't take nothing for granted this year, bro. I'm just so excited to play football and just be me, bro. At the end of the day, that's just what I'm going to do this year. I'm just going to be me. I'm not going to do nothing extra, not going to do nothing little. Just going to be me. Just be Keionte and go play football.
Before I let you go, because you've said this a few times, and I just want to ask you direct, what has your mom meant to you as far as who you are now, what you've been able to accomplish?
Definitely everything, man. Just watching her grind and watching her everything she instilled in all of us is just something that I just, can't even put into words how grateful I am for her. Just watching her grind is just something that, man, it was just a lot. And it meant a lot to us, when we were younger, just seeing her and how hard she was going to provide. And it's just something I just can't wait to, take that load off. And that's something I'm grinding for every day.
You're grinding, you're succeeding, and we're excited to watch you here at the University of Miami.
Yes, sir.
Keionte Scott. Remember, Storm Sessions, like and subscribe to this show, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You see the U form. He's already got the perfect
Let's do
U form.
Go Canes,
Keionte
man.
Scott, man. Excited to watch you.
Let's do it.